wrong they were, but not Mackey and Judd.
Write this down.
This is the big leagues, where we own our terrible predictions.
Write that down.
And keep track of each other's batting averages. It's Write That Down.
Write it down. You like writing things down.
With Mackey and Judd.
Write this down. Write it down. You like writing things down.
Hello, and welcome to the only segment and show in America that actually keeps track of our predictions and holds each other accountable. We've got two different editions of Write That Down now as part of the Score North / Mackey and Judd stable of content and entertainment. Classic Write That Down, which dates back several years, every Wednesday here on Mackey and Judd. And then we've got football Write That Down on Purple Daily every Wednesday as well. So we'll do that on Purple Daily. But here's how Write That Down works. 3 predictions from everybody each week. They must be quantifiable. We keep track of batting averages and home runs. And if you want to be part of the segment as a listener, you can send a DM to @PhilMackey or @Dex's Tweets on Twitter. Both of our DMs are open and we'll get you scheduled. We'll get to our guest listener predictor, Gibby, here in just a little bit. But boys, how are you feeling going into?
I feel great.
Into the next week here of Write That Down.
I feel great.
Judd's been leading the batting average race all of last year and now for the first part of this year.
Never too high, never too low. I'm not going to tell you.
Okay.
Because I always keep it even keel. That's how you win championships, Dex.
What percentage do you give it in terms of effort every week? Is it 110 or?
You know what? It's not the effort. It's the preparation.
Sure.
It's when I start.
The preparation.
It's my it's a long season. And so for me to give it 100% each week, I'd be done by June.
I mean, I give it a ton of effort. I'm worried about the CB Buckners of the world screwing me at the plate when I'm trying to square up one.
You're always looking for the scapegoat.
But at the same time,
the golf fans who watch on TV and point out rules violations, that's pretty
me.
much.
He's always looking for
I'm the Patrick Reed of this Write That Down.
You are trying to find the scapegoat.
I'm not trying to find a scapegoat.
I look right past the scapegoat thing.
That's clearly outside, but I guess it's a strike. So
we actually have a little controversy regarding a Declan prediction this week.
Okay. Shocking.
I don't even know if it's, well, we'll get to it.
Yeah.
We'll get to it.
I'm shocked.
All right, let's start with Judd Zulgad here, the accountability session. You said the Wolves will make a head coaching change by the beginning of next season.
Yes!
Didn't take too long for that one to come off the board. And then I just want to make note of this one here.
Yeah,
we have a couple like these. It's still on the board.
Stays on the board, yes.
Yep. But so you and Declan has a similar one, I think, in Purple Daily. Write that down. You said the Eagles will get a first-round pick in a Carson Wentz trade between now and the start of regular season. So it's kind of a parlay, right? That Carson Wentz will be traded.
Yes.
That happened.
Yes.
And the first-round pick is contingent on Carson Wentz playing 75% of the snaps or 70% of the snaps, and the Colts make the playoffs. So we won't know until. I guess we could know.
No, but if it's the start of the regular season, then that means the first round pick would have to come in this year's draft. That's what Judd wrote down, right? The start of the regular season. They did not receive a first round pick between now and the start of the regular season. So that's.
But it's contingent on that, and I said that he would be traded by then.
Yeah, I think the way that I think there's a little bit of room for interpretation here. I think the interpretation is that the trade will happen before the start of the regular season, and a first round and so there is a first round pick attached to this, but it's contingent on something happening in the regular season.
So it just stays on the board.
I feel you on this, Dex, but that's a little too aggressive of a technicality.
Okay.
In this case.
Well, and I actually think that the way that I came up with the way it's structured is probably genius. Like I don't want to pat myself on the back too much, so it's probably just really, really smart, but it might be genius.
Yeah, I do appreciate a good technicality takedown.
Oh, absolutely.
But in this case, I'm not going to vote against Judd on this one.
Okay.
All right. I had nothing come off the board. The listeners, Josh said the Vikings will not win more than 8 games, and Mike Zimmer will not return. I gave a few extra weeks to feel if Mike Zimmer was going to get fired.
I like it. Yeah, very fair.
Didn't happen for Josh there. Kirk said the Timberwolves will be looking for a new coach after the next NBA season, which actually would have been wrong on its own because of phrasing, right? Mm-hmm. And they'll hire John Calipari. Now we need a ruling here from Judd. We need some honesty.
This is 1,000% now a ding.
Oh,
wow. So Nicholas predicted Judd will go inside a bar and enjoy an alcoholic beverage by July 4th, 2021. You are self-reporting.
Socially distanced on Sunday.
Oh, wow.
I went out to brunch again and I had a beer.
Attaboy. There it is.
Socially distanced.
Was that your first one?
Long ways away from people and lots of masks on.
Was that your first inside a bar beer since March of last year?
No. We have been out to brunch a few times, and I've had beers before, but this prediction came right before I went to brunch and didn't have a beer. But this time I did.
Okay.
So this wins.
Gotcha. Okay.
Good job, Nicholas.
Nice job, Nicholas. There
Way
you go.
to go, Nicholas.
Almost 5 months to spare on that one. All right. Declan said Kirk Cousins will be traded to the Broncos by Monday in a very exciting segment of Reckless Speculation last week.
On Thursday, right?
Yeah, I said it on Thursday.
It just broke out of nowhere.
Yeah. And then Declan was correct on the prediction where he said either the Universal or WWE Championship will change hands this Sunday at the Elimination Chamber pay-per-view.
Mm-hmm.
You got that right because Miz cashed in his Money in the Bank briefcase.
Yeah.
Which is the most genius thing in all of sports and entertainment, where you can just pick your shot at a title anytime you want. You can wait until your opponent can be incapacitated, and you can just waltz on down with that contract and say, ring the bell, we're starting the match. But so initially we said if this happens, because it's pretty rare that this would happen, that it would be a home run. But part of Declan's, as like 3 DMers pointed out to me, part of Declan's logic on the home run part was that this is the final pay-per-view before WrestleMania. Fastlane is still to come. So I don't think we can give you a home run on this one just because there's another pay-per-view to come and it's all predetermined.
Are you telling me you got 3 people who DM'd you to say you shouldn't get a home run?
Yes.
I want the DM count.
Oh my God.
I want the DM count for Judd's Wentz's pick then because it's just absurd. I'm being attacked.
People hate you. What did you do?
I'm under a microscope. I'm just
but part of your logic was this is the final pay-per-view before WrestleMania, and it's not. Right. It's not the final pay-per-view before WrestleMania. So there's a good chance that titles will change hands at Elimination Chamber to set up the next pay-per-view.
Okay.
Just saying.
Whatever. I don't even know.
Dude, it's a point.
No, it's fine.
He's mad. He's mad. He's like visibly, he's almost shaking.
It's a technicality.
He's almost shaking, and I'm walking away with that Wentz point.
Okay.
No, it's technicality.
Why don't we do this, okay? Why don't you guys either in the YouTube comment section on the Score North YouTube channel of this video or send us tweets if we can get let's say 20 people to vouch for Declan. Like an overwhelming amount of people to vouch for Declan, we'll give Declan a home run.
Okay.
That's fine with me. I've got 20?
I want like a barrage of people to say, no, this should be a home run for Declan.
I love the fact that 3 people unprompted came into your DMs.
It happens every week to Phil, I think. I think he's gotten one.
I've protected you guys against some people that want points taken off the board for you.
I respect that.
Oh, I like to hear those.
Yeah.
Oh, come on, that's fun. Don't protect us.
I'll bring them up.
Bring them to the table.
So Judd is still leading the batting average race narrowly. Declan is closing in here. 455 average for Judd with 1 home run. Declan at 429.
Wait a minute. You forgot one. I said Kevin Fiala would score 3 points last week, and he had, I think, like 5.
Hold on, let me go to the official.
I'm looking at my notes from last week.
Oh, there we go.
So
see sometimes the master scorer here misses some things.
That's another sabotage. It's fine. Yep.
I like what you did there.
So with that, I'm not going to be able to change it on the screen here, but I do have an updated batting average of exactly 455 for Declan.
Then we're tied up.
So we now have a tie.
We're tied up. But you know what?
The
last time I checked, not even March yet. A lot of time here.
Phil's left here.
Phil's doing well.
A lot of season left here. So on the career numbers since 2018, Judd with 149 hits and 9 home runs. Mackey, I have 115 hits and 10 home runs, leading the home run category.
Bombs.
Listeners, 39 hits, 9 home runs. Declan up to 39 career hits. Just a season and a half into his career here and 2 home runs, maybe 3.
Or is it 3? Or is it 3? Or more people going to come in?
One, yeah.
Or are more people going to come into
Write
Phil's
it down.
DMs
You like writing
and
things
take more points away from you?
Write this down.
All right, so let's get our guy in here. Gibby, what's happening, man? Are you ready to take some swings?
Sorry, you just caught me doing my pregame stretches. Not much. I got to say, I'm going in with a 3 true outcomes approach. I'm going home runs, strikeouts, and walks here. And I got to say, the theme of all my picks is the one that got away for Minnesota.
Wow.
You got a theme. You got everything going. I love it.
I've been waiting and plotting. I got to say, this first one's a pretty big swing for the fences. So I'm wondering if you guys would be willing to add a Grand Slam category for going all out here.
We've talked about the Grand Slam category.
Well, listen and decide then.
All right.
Okay.
Write it down. You like writing things down.
So we're going to make 3 trips around the room. Gibby, Judd, Declan, back to me, Phil. And we'll lead off with Gibby here.
All right, it's a parlay. The first leg of the parlay is that over their first decade of being a head coach, Kevin Stefanski will win twice as many playoff games as Mike Zimmer. The one that got away. I think he's clearly the one that got away at this point with the way the league's moving, all that stuff. Second leg of that parlay, over their careers, A.J. Brown drafted one spot after Irv Smith Jr. when the Vikings had a bigger need at wide receiver 3 than at tight end 2. A.J. Brown will finish his career with twice as many yards and twice as many touchdowns as Irv Smith. That's
I like the predictions that aren't coming off the board for like 8 years too. That's great.
Yes. You guys got to be on the air then. Otherwise, I win. Or it's a no bet.
Any more than it's already screwed up, Gibby.
Write it down. You like writing things down.
That's my first one that I feel would be Grand Slam worthy. Because if Zimmer wins one more playoff game, then Stefanski has to win 6.
Yes,
that's a lot.
Yeah, so Zimmer has 2 right now, both against the Saints.
Yeah.
Yes. The Miracle and then the other one. Yep. All right, Judd, your first prediction.
Ooh, I don't know if I can top that. All right. The Twins and White Sox will have at least one bench clearing incident this season. I feel that it's going to be things are picking up a bit. That we're going to go back to that golden era of time when the Twins and White Sox had a pretty good rivalry in the Torrey Hunter years.
Where Torrey blasted their catcher that one time.
What was that, like circa 2006 or so?
What's Ozzie Guillen doing these days?
04, yeah.
Anyway, the Twins and White Sox, Declan, will have at least one bench clearing incident.
Is that the hot take cops coming after you from Gibby's house there? It sounded like it.
No, they're after Gibby.
Yeah, I think
for that hot take he gave out.
I would have loved to pull Bobby Jenks' stupid goatee off back in the day. I despised him.
See, I think we're going to get back to
him.
I like it.
Bobby Jenks.
All right. My first prediction is a good name. Zach Parise will score a power play goal between now and next week's. Write that down. Quantifiable one coming off the board. I like to put ones out every week. So Zach Parise will score a power play goal between now and next week's. Write that down.
Maybe he can get to 10 goals on the season.
That'd be great because it doesn't look like he is.
Wow. Had a rough start.
Write it down. You like writing things down.
All right. Speaking of new beginnings, write this down. We saw last night. We haven't been able to spend much time today, anytime really, on the Wolves awakening last night against the Bucks. Forget about the final score for a second, okay? Just I know that they got their on paper they got trounced, okay? Just throw those numbers out the window. The only one that matters is Karl-Anthony Towns had 11 assists last night, a career high 11 assists.
Yep.
And our guy Finchy came in and basically said, "Listen, I can't scrap everything. I can't just get rid of half of you crappy players. I just took the job right now. So the only thing I can really do in my first game is demand that Karl-Anthony Towns gets the ball all the time and that he runs the offense." So here is my prediction. Cat, to this point, his career high in assists per game is like 4 in his career, 4.5 or something.
Mm-hmm.
From last night going forward through the rest of the season, Cat will average at least 7 assists per game. So he will jump from last night going forward, 7 assists per game the rest of the season. All right. That's what he will average. Okay. Write it down.
Write it down. You like writing things down.
Okay, back to Gibby.
That's got to be a home run, right? How many big men average 7 assists?
It will for sure be a home run.
We'll see what the committee says.
Yeah, we'll talk about it, Gibby. We'll talk about it.
That's okay.
All right, number two.
I'm not out to screw people, okay? Listen,
Declan's very mad.
Declan screwed Declan, all right?
Phil forgets the Kevin Fiala prediction that I made. But I guess we're in the business of pointing fingers here, I guess. That's
this is embarrassing. Not in front of the company, you guys. Gibby, plug your ears.
Not in front of the kids. Not in front of the kids.
Yeah, let's take this elsewhere. We clearly need write that down counseling.
Well, I am a certified mediator in the state of Minnesota. So if you guys ever need help with that,
it's actually very helpful.
I took one winter class in law school and they gave me a certificate. So
awesome.
Okay. Number 2. This one is the one that couldn't get away fast enough. Eddie Rosario themed. Alex Kirilloff will have a higher OPS in 2021 than Eddie Rosario. He will have a higher OPS in games versus the Twins or versus the Indians than Rosario will have in games versus the Twins. And the Twins will win the season series versus the Indians.
Okay. All right. Can you repeat the first part of that again?
Give me one more time.
Kirilloff has a higher season-long OPS than Rosario, has a higher OPS than Rosario in head-to-head games, and the Twins win the season series versus the Indians.
Nice. Good luck to us calculating the head-to-head OPS part of that.
That's a lot.
I think it's 18 games. It's not that many.
How about, can we amend it? Because that's really hard to figure out. Can we amend it to OPS versus the Indians and vice versa?
That's what I meant. That's basically what I meant.
Because if one of them's out for a game, then it becomes harder to calculate.
Right. That's what I meant.
Okay, cool.
So Kirilloff will finish with a higher OPS than Rosario.
And Kirilloff will finish with a higher OPS. It's a parlay.
Yep.
In games against the Indians compared to Rosario's OPS in games against the Twins.
Basically, screw Eddie Rosario. That's like the theme of it. Okay. How about
That's
that?
the gist of yeah.
Harder to quantify. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Write this down.
Okay, back to Judd.
Tibbs will finish in the top 3 in NBA Coach of the Year voting.
Wow.
Tom Thibodeau will finish in the top 3 in NBA Coach of the Year voting.
Okay, am I missing something here? Like, people are just lauding Tom Thibodeau. How low is the bar for the Knicks?
Oh,
People 500.
They're below. They're 15 and 17. Like,
but they're the Knicks, and they've sucked for so long that if you look respectable, it gets you credit.
I mean, it's now they are averaging. This is amazing. The Knicks this season are last in points per game, but first in opposing points per game.
Yeah, that's a Tibbs
So
ball.
they're just
That's Tibbs ball.
They're both over 103 points, so the game is just higher scoring. But like, so they're almost 500, and he's going to be Coach of the Year. And I'm
saying top 3. He might be third, but anyway, he is going to get votes because that franchise has been such a train wreck for so many years now.
Write it down. You like writing things down.
All right, back to Declan.
I have a Bachelor prediction. At the women's tell-all next week on The Bachelor, MJ will call out Jasenia again.
Oh.
So we'll have 2 reporters. At least I know Phil and I will be watching.
Yeah, you might as well have said that in French to me, dude.
Yeah. Maybe we get Dawn and Judd to watch it too. At the women's tell-all next week on The Bachelor, MJ will call out Jasenia again.
Okay, let me ask this: if Jasenia provokes MJ and MJ lashes back at Jasenia, what's the ruling? Does it have to be initiated by MJ?
Yes.
Okay, so
I want
MJ
it
will
to be initiated by MJ.
MJ will initiate some sort of provocation. Okay.
And yep. I'm gonna write that down. Initiate it.
All right, write this one down.
Okay.
Write that down. You like to write things down.
All right, my guy Tiger Woods. It's kind of a rough day for him yesterday.
Yeah,
we're still waiting for the toxicology report. I'm not sure why he was flying off of the hillside at 7:00 in the morning. So more information will come out. We're happy that he's alive. So write this down. Tiger Woods will win another golf tournament by the end of 2023. And I will specify a PGA or like Euro PGA. So some sort of PGA or international PGA.
What wouldn't count? What doesn't count?
The senior tour. I don't think he'd be old enough though, because he's only like 45. Yeah. So you got to be 50.
Yes.
But he's not going to win.
Right.
Yeah. Like,
okay.
It's going to be an actual competitive event that he will win by the end of 2023.
Yeah, it doesn't count.
Okay.
All right. Write this down.
Fair enough.
Write it down. You like writing things down.
All right. Back to Gibby. Your final prediction.
Was Tiger's other car crash earlier this decade also in the early morning?
Yeah, it was. It was like at 8 a.m. And that was more of his wife taking a golf club to the car than necessarily it was the car crash.
I think it was in the driveway.
I think he hit a mailbox.
He hit something.
He was in the car trying to back up. I think trying to just get away or something.
She had a golf club and was taking it to the car.
Good for her.
He should sleep in late, early morning. Not good for him. All right. No. My last prediction is not sports related. I guess it could be sports related. And this is the tax dollars that got away. Minnesota will not legalize recreational marijuana until 2025 at the earliest.
So by the end of 2025? Oh, so okay.
No. There will not be a bill passed to legalize recreational marijuana until the calendar turns to 2025.
Yeah.
That's too bad. Yep, got it.
Yeah.
Tax dollars that got away.
Like, we had to keep liquor stores closed on Sundays for
we closed bars at 1
centuries.
For how long? 1 a.m.
Yeah, when did that change? I'm not the type of guy that can stay up till 2 o'clock anyways. So
I used to.
Complain,
I still do.
I used to, but I'm out now. I can't do it now. Doesn't mean no good. They changed the bar time.
My brother lives in North Carolina. There's a weird liquor law there where they cannot serve booze anywhere on a Sunday until 11 a.m. You could be in a restaurant. You could go to the ABC stores, like what's what they're called, their liquor stores there, but they can't serve a drop of booze until the clock turns 11 a.m. on Sunday. It's just weird. Very weird.
Yeah. Well, Gibby, great job taking swings here. We like the different subsections of sports and society that you touched on here. Is there anything or anyone in your life you'd like to thank that got you to this point here as a Write That Down participant?
Two people I'd like to thank. First off, I'd like to thank my boss for hiring me last month. Being unemployed in a pandemic sucks. Would recommend not doing that again. Number two is I'd like to thank all of the Minnesota sports fans that aren't afraid to dream a little bigger. I think we are too complacent in this state. I think you guys do a great job on the show of that, and that we shouldn't be afraid to swing for the fences and maybe fall down.
You know, Gibby, if you reach for the stars, you might land on the moon.
Is that a Pitbull lyric?
But isn't the moon closer than the stars?
Yes.
Shoot for the moon, land on the stars.
Or you shoot for the sun and land on the moon?
My God.
Gibby, it's falling apart here.
Go Huskies. I don't know where to go.
It's falling apart.
Gibby, great stuff. Thanks for jumping on,
dude.
man.
Thanks,
See ya.
guys.
All right, back to Judd Zolgad here.
Man.
Write this down.
I'll keep it simpler than that. Twins prediction. Miguel Sano will either be traded this season or after it by the Twins. Miguel Sano will either be traded during the 2021 season or after it.
So he'll be traded before the 2022
So he will not be
season.
on. He will not be on the 22 roster.
Okay, sounds good. I don't know what his value is right now. The guy hits $180 and strikes out in half
What
of
are you
his
talking about?
plate
He's the
appearances.
greatest power hitter of all time.
Might not be that high. Might not be that high.
The
They might
amount
be
of
tired
people.
it.
All right, I don't mean to pick another fight with Twins Bloggerville here.
Don't do it.
I've never done that before.
Do it.
But like, if you were on Twins Twitter and
Who's
Twins Bloggerville comparing Miguel Sano to Harmon Killebrew because he got hot for 2 weeks, you need to take a step back.
There is a very interesting comparison, like at least through 2019, where he had identical seasons to guys like Colby Rasmus, like Ian Happ of the Rockies a few years ago. Like there's a bunch of power hitters who have done this.
I love me some Colby Rasmus.
Yes. God, and they're out of the league when they're 30, for God's sakes, dude.
Harmon Killebrew, by the way, led the major leagues in home runs 6 different times. In all of those seasons, he had 40 or more home runs. He also had another 46 and a 41 home runs. So he had 8 seasons of 40 home runs because, you know what? He wasn't missing chunks of seasons all the time. He also got on base at like a 380 clip. So
Yeah, but besides that, he was no good.
Yeah.
Write it down. You like writing things down.
all right, I think we're back to what, Declan here?
Yep. Last prediction for me here. Bruce Boudreau will be the next head coach of the Seattle Kraken. Or another way to phrase that, he'll be the first head coach of the Seattle Kraken. He has expressed interest in the job. Seattle's still looking for their head coach. Bruce Boudreau will be the next head coach of the Seattle Kraken.
Do it up. Yeah. I don't know. At this point, I don't know why he'd want to take over an expansion. I guess he saw what happened with Vegas. Are they going to make it as easy for Seattle?
Yes.
Yeah,
as they did for Vegas?
I don't
exact
think teams will be more reluctant to trade and like put these under the table deals like they did how the Wild basically gave them Alex Tuck. I don't think that will happen, but Seattle will be good.
Yeah.
They'll be solid.
I got a weird feeling he's going to end up at the start of next year with Buffalo.
Yeah, I mean that was a good one.
His mom's in Toronto.
Yeah,
It's close
very close to
by.
his mom.
Write this down.
All right. Ordinarily, I would ask Judd to leave the room for this, but
go for
I
it.
don't think he will alter this for the sake of Write That Down. So Romcom Rewind, we're going to go on a run of Romcom Rewinds on Fridays on the show. We're putting Action Movie Rewind. It's going on spring break for
It's
a while.
on probation after last week's debacle.
Yeah, Beverly Hills Cop 2 is
Kind of ruined it for us.
worthy of a break.
Ba-dum.
So Judd, write this down. Judd will give a perfect 10 score to at least one of the next 4 Romcom Rewinds that we do.
Okay.
We're going to get a perfect 10 out of Judd at some point over the next 4 Romcom Rewinds.
If it deserves it, it's going to get it.
Write it
It's not
down.
gonna
You like
alter
writing
my-
things down.
Assessment of it.
And so there it is. Those are your Write That Down predictions and your accountability session for this week. And remember, if you want to be part of the show, if you want to be part of the prediction crew here, just send a DM to @Dex's tweets or @PhilMackey on Twitter, and we can make it happen. Reckless Speculation Thursday tomorrow on the show. And don't forget to check out episodes of Rap with Royce on the Mackey and Judd podcast feed as well.